Close your eyes for a second and picture Wall Street. What do you see? If you're like the rest of the world, your mind instantly projects a cinematic masterpiece carefully engineered by Hollywood and the mass media over decades. You see men in bespoke pinstripe suits, dripping with arrogance, screaming buy and sell orders into telephones amidst the chaotic roar of a trading floor. We have been systematically brainwashed to believe that conquering the global financial market requires a cocktail of insider secrets, a predatory intuition, the mystical ability to read the psychology of the masses, and a dangerous dose of innate recklessness. But what if I told you that this glittering image is nothing more than a meticulously crafted fairy tale designed to keep you blind? The modern financial reality is infinitely more ruthless, chillingly silent, and brutally devoid of human emotion. Financial Mindset welcomes you to a journey that will forever change the way you look at your own money. If you are ready to shatter the illusions and uncover the darkest, most heavily guarded secrets of the financial elite, please hit the subscribe button right now. Your support is the vital fuel that empowers this channel to continue exposing the truths they desperately want to keep hidden. Now, let us look at the cold, unforgiving numbers that never lie. For years, the traditional financial industry has guarded a terrifying secret, one so damning that exposing it threatens their very existence. According to definitive data from SPIVA, over 90% of active fund managers, those very men and women holding glittering degrees from the Ivy League, collecting millions of dollars in annual salaries, utterly and spectacularly fail to beat the broader market over a 15 to 20-year horizon. They are losing a game they claim to have mastered. Yet, despite this colossal intellectual failure, they continue to shamelessly siphon exorbitant management fees directly from the pockets of hardworking investors, growing obscenely wealthy regardless of whether your life savings multiply or evaporate into thin air. This profound betrayal, this arrogant incompetence, inevitably paved the way for a silent but utterly devastating revolution. It birthed the era of the quants. These are not slick-talking stockbrokers or charismatic salesmen. They are brilliant mathematicians, theoretical physicists, and computer engineers who view the market not through the flawed lens of human emotion or deceptive corporate earnings reports, but through the terrifying clarity of massive datasets and probability models. The absolute pinnacle of this new world order was Jim Simons and the Medallion Fund of Renaissance Technologies. Simons despised the traditional financial establishment so much that he refused to hire anyone with a Wall Street background. Instead, he gathered the brightest mathematical minds on Earth, unleashing complex, high-frequency trading algorithms to hunt down microscopic anomalies in the market. The result was a horrifyingly beautiful massacre of traditional finance, yielding an unprecedented, almost mythical average annual return of 66% over 3 decades. They proved a devastating new truth. When you completely and surgically remove human ego, fear, and greed from the equation, leaving only the cold precision of mathematics and immense computational power, the profits generated defy human comprehension. Math literally tore off the glamorous but hollow mask of traditional Wall Street. Yet, as you stand in awe of this technological miracle, a suffocating realization sets in. This utopia of infinite wealth is entirely walled off. Hedge funds like Medallion are absolute fortresses, the exclusive playgrounds of billionaires and titanic financial institutions. For an ordinary investor with a few $1,000s in savings, the door to this algorithmic empire is permanently and ruthlessly slammed shut. But while the iron gates of these quantitative fortresses are locked away from the public, Wall Street has conveniently built a brightly lit, highly addictive casino right in your pocket. They call it the democratization of finance, a noble-sounding crusade that claims to bring the breathtaking power of the stock market to the everyday person through sleek mobile applications and the irresistible promise of zero-commission trading. I used to deeply believe this narrative, feeling a genuine sense of empowerment every time I swiped a screen to execute a trade, blindly trusting the financial institutions that handed me this supposed gift. However, peeling back the layers of this manufactured revolution reveals a chilling, almost dystopian reality. When a financial service is entirely free, You are no longer the respected client. You are the product being aggressively harvested. The retail brokerage industry did not eliminate the cost of trading. They simply weaponized the user experience, employing brilliant behavioral psychologists to gamify the interface and turn investing into a dopamine-fueled addiction. They want you checking your phone 50 times a day, sweating over the flashing red and green numbers, impulsively reacting to every microscopic dip and rally with a pounding heart. Behind the scenes, they take your perfectly predictable, emotionally driven trades and sell them in massive, lucrative bundles to the very institutional titans who hold the algorithmic supremacy. This shadowy practice is nothing short of a modern slaughterhouse disguised as a benevolent amusement park. You are continuously encouraged to trade actively, to try and time the unpredictable swings of the market, and to play with dangerous, complex instruments like options, all while the house silently profits from your anxiety, your overconfidence, and your eventual financial ruin. It is a profoundly painful realization to understand that the system was deliberately designed to extract your wealth under the guise of helping you grow it. Your dreams of financial independence, your late nights of hard work, and your sacrifices are being systematically exploited as cheap liquidity fodder for the ultra-wealthy. We have been conditioned to view ourselves as savvy market participants, completely oblivious to the tragic fact that we are merely cattle being led to a digital slaughter, turning the hard-earned savings of the working class into guaranteed risk-free yields for an elite club that silently despises us. When your seemingly costless trade is finally executed on that glowing screen, it does not float into a fair and balanced marketplace, but is instantly swallowed into a dark, invisible war zone of predatory machines. This is the terrifying domain of high-frequency trading and colossal market makers, entities that operate on a physical and temporal scale that the human mind simply cannot comprehend. I remember the exact moment the illusion shattered for me. The horrifying realization that I was not trading against another human being with a differing opinion on a company's value, but against a humming server rack located just inches away from the stock exchange's core matching engine. These machines do not care about a company's fundamentals, its visionary leadership, or its groundbreaking new product line. They only care about microscopic fractions of time. By spending billions of dollars to lay dedicated fiber optic cables through mountains and across vast oceans, just to shave a single millisecond off their transmission speeds, they have engineered a system where they can legally see your order, step in front of it, buy the stock you want, and sell it back to you a fraction of a cent higher. It sounds like irrelevant pennies, but when executed billions of times a day across global markets, it creates an impenetrable river of risk-free capital flowing directly into their coffers. As an ordinary investor, trying to outsmart this infrastructure with standard technical analysis, drawing arbitrary lines on a stock chart, and looking for patterns is an exercise in profound tragedy. You are bringing a wooden stick to a thermonuclear war, fighting against self-learning artificial intelligence that has already anticipated your panic sell and your greed-driven buy before your finger even touches the glass of your phone. The sheer scale of this algorithmic dominance strips away any remaining illusion of a free market, while replacing it with a heavily orchestrated theater where asset prices are dictated by mathematical formulas hunting for liquidity. We are essentially wandering blindfolded through an explosive minefield mapped perfectly by the very entities selling us the map, leaving us with an overwhelming sense of helplessness against a technological beast that feels neither pity digital meat grinder running smoothly and profitably. The financial system relies on a continuous, desperate supply of human capital, fueled by a highly orchestrated apparatus of psychological manipulation. The algorithmic predators cannot survive without the frantic, emotional reactions of retail investors, which is exactly why the media-industrial complex works tirelessly to keep you in a perpetual state of anxiety and euphoric greed. Think about the mainstream financial news networks with their urgent flashing banners, the charismatic talking heads screaming stock picks, and the endless barrage of online gurus flaunting their rented sports cars and manufactured lifestyles. This entire ecosystem is not designed to educate you or secure your financial future. It is a meticulously crafted psychological prison built to trigger your deepest insecurities. I have felt the intoxicating, agonizing sting of fear of missing out, watching seemingly ordinary people become overnight millionaires on the latest cryptocurrency craze or a heavily shorted meme stock, feeling my own patience erode into sheer desperation. They sell you the intoxicating dream that you are just one lucky trade, one insider tip, or one viral internet post away from escaping the rat race and achieving utter financial freedom. But this manufactured hype is merely the bait on a deeply barbed hook. By amplifying the noise and sensationalizing every market movement, the media conditions you to abandon rational thought and act on impulse, ensuring a steady flow of chaotic emotional trades for the algorithms to feast upon. Even the rare, celebrated moments when the retail crowd seemingly bands together to defeat Wall Street are often just temporary illusions, a brief chaotic anomaly where a few individuals win the lottery while the vast majority are left holding worthless assets when the music inevitably stops. The true tragedy lies in how willingly we step right into this trap, surrendering our peace of mind and our hard-earned money to a media machine that monetizes our hopes and weaponizes our dreams, keeping us trapped in a perpetual cycle of chasing wealth while actually running on a treadmill that solely powers their empire. Escaping this labyrinth of manufactured greed and algorithmic execution does not require you to build a faster supercomputer, but rather to entirely rewrite the behavioral code of your own mind. The ultimate, liberating truth that the financial elite pray you never discover is that the only way to defeat a rigged game is to stubbornly refuse to play it on their terms. I spent years violently fighting the invisible machines, bleeding capital through 1,000 tiny cuts of hidden fees, wide spreads, and profound emotional mistakes, until I finally embraced the immense power of absolute stillness. The algorithms own the microseconds. The market makers own the daily volatility, and the media owns the narrative. But you possess the one insurmountable edge that no machine can ever replicate: decades of time. By shifting your core identity from an active, frenetic trader to a passive, long-term owner of the global economy, you instantly rendered their billions of dollars of high-frequency infrastructure completely useless. When you purchase broad, low-cost index funds and commit to holding them through the chaos, you are stepping out of the noisy casino and walking directly into the impenetrable vault. You no longer care if the market crashes tomorrow because your horizon stretches 20 years into the future. You strip away your ego, your fear, and your desperate greed, replacing them with the invincible armor of compounding interest and unwavering patience. It is a deeply humbling, almost spiritual awakening to realize that true generational wealth is not built through adrenaline, aggressive risk-taking, or trying to outsmart the brightest mathematicians on the planet, but through relentless consistency and aggressive boredom. By automating your investments and turning off the toxic, deafening noise of the financial media, you starve the predatory algorithms of the emotional liquidity they desperately need to survive, reclaiming not just your financial destiny, but your precious mental peace. You are no longer the product being consumed. You are the sovereign architect of your own life. This is the profound truth of the financial mindset. A quiet, unbreakable rebellion against a system explicitly designed to break you. And it begins the exact moment you choose unshakable patience over the hollow illusion of a quick fortune. The modern financial market is not a level playing field, but a meticulously engineered trap designed to systematically extract wealth from everyday investors. Through the illusion of free trading, sleek mobile apps have gamified investing, turning it into an addictive, dopamine-driven habit. Behind the scenes, colossal market makers and high-frequency trading algorithms exploit this frantic activity, utilizing billion-dollar infrastructure to front-run retail orders for risk-free profits. To ensure a steady supply of this easily harvested capital, the financial media complex manufactures a perpetual state of FOMO, weaponizing fundamental human emotions like greed, hope, and anxiety. Retail investors are conditioned to believe they can beat a system operated by self-learning supercomputers and elite mathematicians. But this is a devastating falsehood. However, true financial liberation is entirely possible when you realize that your ultimate edge is not speed, but time. You cannot outtrade a machine, but you can outlast it. By stepping away from the chaotic daily noise and shifting your focus from active, emotional trading to passive, long-term ownership of the global economy through low-cost index funds, you completely neutralize Wall Street's predatory advantages. The path to generational wealth is not found in the adrenaline of perfectly timed trades or the desperate chase of viral stock trends. It is found in aggressive boredom, relentless consistency, and unshakable patience. By refusing to play their rigged game of short-term speculation, you starve the algorithms of their liquidity